Okay. Microsoft developed a framework to develop different kinds of applications. So we call it as a .NET framework. So using .NET framework, we can develop many kinds of applications like console, class library or DLLs, Windows applications like Excel, Word, right? And some antivirus application like that. So those are Windows applications, web applications like websites, dynamic websites, okay? Services, Windows services like which runs in the background, and web services or web APIs and some background jobs like this. We can develop different kinds of applications using the framework. So we have different languages to develop the different applications. So like C Sharp, F Sharp, J Sharp, like that, VB.NET. So we have different languages to develop the different applications. We can, the most powerful language is like C Sharp. So we have already covered that as part of the training. So with C Sharp, we developed console applications or libraries or DLLs, we see it as. Okay. So now we talk about web application, websites. Okay. So websites, it's a collection of web pages. A web page is something like which will show some markup text in the form of text, images, videos, animations, etc. Okay. Some markup text will be displayed on the page on the browser. Okay. So the communication, we call it as a client server model. Okay. So in front of a laptop, you open in a laptop, you open a browser. So we call it as a client or end user. So the user who is typing something like www.google.com. So you are an end user. You are using a client called browser and you are sending a request to Google server. Okay. Web server, we call it as a web server, which will contain the web applications. Okay. Through internet, right? So we call it as a HTTP request. The protocol is HTTP and you are requesting for some resource. We call it as a HTTP request. So client end user will use the browser or client to send an HTTP request to the server. Server will analyze the request. It checks whether the website is present or not, and it provides the required information in the form of web pages or graphic files. Okay, so that is called HTTP response. So you will send a request to the server. Server will process and send the response back to the client. Okay, so that we call HTTP request and response model or client server model. Okay. So communication, this is the way it will happen. Like we send the URL, so that will be checked in the domain name system. So we will have a meaningful name like www.microsoft.com, www.google.com, like that. So these are the meaningful names, but internally the domain name system will maintain IP address. Okay, so through which it will communicate. So we talked about HTML. So what is HTML and all, and what are all the tags? Okay. So types of HTML pages like static pages, dynamic pages. Static pages means we will only display some static content which will not change. Okay. Right. Some about us page, contact us page. It won't change dynamically. But when you go to some any website like Flipkart or Amazon, so if you search something, there will be dynamically content will be displayed from the server, right? So the content will change according to the options you select. Okay. So static pages, simple text, which will not change. Dynamic pages, which will change depending on the actions we perform. Like if you select country, it will load states like that. If you search for, if you click on some product type, product name, it will load the product details. So the content is changing. Okay, static pages and dynamic pages. So for client side scripting, to write the client side code. So client side means on the browser side. Server side means web server. for developing applications using ASP.NET, we use IIS web server. Okay. Hello? Any doubts? So client side, HTML, CSS, JavaScript we use. These are for developing static web pages. Okay. Server side scripting, if it is ASP, simple ASP, which means before developing .NET framework, we used to develop web applications with ASP. For that, we used to use language called VBScript. After .NET framework, we are having ASP.NET technology, web technology. We are using C#.NET technology. If we use JSP server-side scripting, we use Java language to write the code. If we use PHP, we write a C++ kind of syntax. Okay. So we have two kinds of roles, like web designers, web programmers. Web designers will use different tools like Photoshop, Dreamweaver, Adobe Flex, Flash, Bootstrap to design the web pages. Okay, web programmers will write the code, HTML, JavaScript, like this. Okay, and some language. So we talked about different tags that we have. So the prying guys will learn about this in the coming sessions. No need to worry about it. So we talked about all these things. The next topic is like ASP.NET. So ASP.NET is an open source server-side web application framework. It is designed by Microsoft to develop the dynamic web pages or dynamic applications, dynamic web development applications. Okay. Right? It's not a programming language. It's a server-side technology, or we call it as a web technology. So we use VB.NET or C#.NET or F#.NET to write the code. Okay. So what are the software requirements? We need a web server, IIS. If we are running it on Windows, we need IIS. If it is Unix, Linux, or Solaris, it is Apache Tomcat. Framework, we use .NET. For Linux or other operating systems, we use Mono framework. The editor tools is Visual Studio. For others, DevOps. The server-side technology is ASP.NET in both. Database, for database operations, we can use any database. Language, we use C#. Okay. So IIS is the web server software developed by Microsoft, which will be having, which will be installed automatically when we install Windows system, Windows operating system. If it is not available, you can enable the features by going to control panel and searching IIS information and enable it, and you can run it. Okay, this is the code execution process in ASP.NET. Like client will send a request for a particular page, web page, to the server, like suppose about.aspx. So server will check whether the file is present or not. If the file is present, it will be sent to ASPX engine like isapi.dll. Okay. So this will generate a page class. Page class will have required information, right? And then page class will be given to compiler. Compiler will check all the code, whether we properly wrote or not. All the data type checks will be performed by compiler. And then compiler will generate an MSIL code. Okay, intermediary language code, Microsoft intermediary language code. That will be given to CLR, Common Language Runtime. So the engine, the Microsoft .NET Framework Runtime Engine, CLR, will perform 3 steps like instantiation, processing, rendering. So instantiation will create objects for the page class and all other objects. Processing and rendering. Rendering is the most important concept. Like the code is on the executing on the server side. So all the server controls or server data, server related data will be transformed to client understandable code. Client understandable code. Okay, to display it on the browser. So that we call as a rendering. Then next, the result will be generated. Once the result will be given to IIS, IIS will send that result to client, which means browser or end user. Okay, once the response is sent back to the client, the page class object will be destroyed from the memory. Okay, you can refer old videos for clear understanding of this code execution and all other topics. Okay, I'm just giving the overview. Okay, so the coding techniques in ASP.NET, we follow like code behind technique. So there are two types of coding techniques: inline coding technique and code behind coding technique. So what is this? We will see. So ASP means active server page. Active server page that can run on any processor or in any OS. Okay. So ASPX means X means runs on any processor or any OS. So the default like the extension of ASP.NET web page is .aspx. The extension of web page is .aspx. Okay. So inline coding technique. There are two coding techniques like inline and code behind. In inline coding technique, we write design code like HTML controls design code and the programming related code, which means dynamic code in the same file like ASPX. This we call inline coding technique. Design code and programming code will reside in same file. Okay. When it comes to code behind technique, we can separate design code and programming code into two files like ASPX, ASPX.cs. Here CS is C# code. Okay. Coding like programming code will be separated from the design code so that one developer can work on programming code and other developer or web designer can work on designing code, HTML designing. Okay. So that we can save the time and write the efficient code, right? So we have different types of controls like HTML controls and ASP.NET controls. All HTML controls run at client side, which means on the browser side. All the ASP.NET controls will run at server side. These are the different differences between each control. I have covered in detail about this in previous sessions, just refer once. So this is the object model. Like system.object is the base class for all the controls. System.ui.web.control is the base class for all the controls. Okay, ASP.NET server side controls. You can refer previous videos. We talked about text box control. So each text, this is a server side control. So text box control will have properties like ID, auto postback, causes validation, enabled, max length, text mode, visible. These are the most widely used properties. And next we have one event like text changed event, right? So we talked about this. We will see an example for it. Then next we talked about button. So button will have properties like command name, on client click event, command argument, postback URL. On client click is a property. Okay. Events is click event and some command event we have. We will see that an example. So today we will start working with redirecting user requests. So we can redirect from one page to other page two ways, like design time redirection, runtime redirection. So redirection means when you are clicking on some link, so you are opening a different page. So you are traveling from one page to other page. So this is called redirection. Okay? Opening a different resource when you perform some action is called a redirection. So there can be a design time redirection or runtime redirection. Depending on a logic, if you want to redirect, we use runtime redirection. Design time. So like hyperlink, image, on clicking image, or on clicking some button, if you want to redirect to some other page, so that we call design time redirection. Okay. The example controls for design time: hyperlink, link button, image button, or normal button. Okay. So the runtime redirection is based on two things like response.redirect, server.transfer. Okay, we will see about it. Then next we talk about validation controls. Okay, so this is about the basics. Just a second, let me check how many joined. Okay, Pawan, Ramya, and Kiran. Okay, Good. So, so to develop the web applications, we use Visual Studio IDE, Visual Studio 2019. Okay, let me open it. I'm just reiterating the topics that I covered so that the prime guys can understand, and it will be a recap for you guys also. Okay, so to develop a web application, so we have to select ASP.NET, okay, web application. So ASP.NET web application is a template to develop a web applications. See here, project templates for creating applications. You can create ASP web forms, MVC, web API applications, and many other features in ASP.NET. So the application language we are using C#. Okay. So website, sample website, I'm giving my application name. Okay. So it will be stored here. Right. The framework I am using is .NET Framework 4.7.2. Okay. So we can have some empty template or some basic pages like about us, contact us kind of pages, or we can have MVC development or web API or single page application. So I don't want empty application. I'll show some pages. So that's why I'm selecting web forms page, web forms template, and clicking on create button. So a default project will be created. Okay. I'm just recapping all the topics that we covered already, so that prime guys will also understand. So a website is created. So we will have a solution explorer, which will contain all our application, like our application and all its sub projects. Okay. If we have multiple projects in same solution, we can see that. So this is our project. So to open it, we can minimize it, close it. Okay. Right. So this is a solution explorer. We can get it from view solution explorer. View solution explorer. Okay, here we will have application related file. See here, as I have not created empty project, so it automatically gives some files like contact us, about us, default page, like this, some master page to share the design. Like this, it showed some default pages. So to run it, we have to click here, IIS Express. The server will run and it will automatically open our web page. Okay. So the default web page will be opened. See here. So when we run application, server will start. IIS Express is this web server. It will start our web application and serve the required pages. Like the first is the default page, automatically loaded, even though if I click. So this is the default page. So when I am clicking, see here, it is loading about us page, about.aspx page. Okay. So when I am clicking contact us page, it is loading contact us page. Okay. So this is a basic web page and few links here. Right. So this is a way of running an ASP.NET application. So we talk about like code behind technique, right? So this is the ASPX about us page, about us.aspx active server page, which runs on any platform. Okay. So if you see here, so we have design code and source code. Okay. So whatever the controls we design here, that HTML code will be visible here. So design will have a design. Okay. Source will have HTML code. Okay. And also we will have CS code, which means programming code. So this is the programming code. So this we call code behind technique. So here we write C# code And here we write HTML code or design code. So your contact page, address, some links. This is a design code, and this is C# code. So this technique we call as a code behind technique. Okay. So we write programming code, dynamic programming code in ASPX.cs file, and in ASPX page we write the design code. Okay, the design related source can be seen here, right? So this is about code behind technique. Now, so we will have, we talked about, we talked about different controls, right? We have different controls. Where is that toolbox? Okay, so we have a toolbox menu. From view menu, we can open toolbox to design a different controls. So I'll add some page, sample page, or some registration page, or some sample page, any page. To add it on Solution Explorer, open Solution Explorer on our website, right click, add new item or new web form. Okay, anything. New item we can select, or new web form we can select. Okay, I'll show it from new item. New item. So we will have, we will get different pages, like simple HTML page we can write JavaScript file, style sheet, or web form with master. All these are different types of forms we can add to our page. Okay. For now, I'm selecting web form. So my form name is registration. I'm just giving some name. Okay, registration.aspx. So language is C#. Okay. I'm just clicking add. So a web page is added to my solution, to my application with the name registration. You can see here a body tag is there and some div tag is there. Nothing is written here. An HTML head, title, body. Okay. An empty web page is added. So this is the my code behind file where I'll write my code, registration.aspx.cs. So the language I am using is C#. Okay. And it is from sample website, and the class name is registration. Okay. Now I'll create a table. Okay. I'll insert a table. I'll insert a table with 2 rows and 2 columns, and we can align it properly with different options like left, right, center. We can float it. We can give some padding between cells, and we can provide some spacing. We talked about all this in the previous session. So I'm giving some border color. Okay. And we can also give some background color to it. Right. So I'm taking 2 rows. I'll take some 3 rows and 2 columns. See here, a table is designed automatically. It will generate an HTML code. See here, table, cell padding 3, cell spacing 4, class auto style 1. It wrote some styling, whatever the options I selected, like width, border, background color I selected. So it wrote it generated a code automatically. Okay, this is the advantage, and we can easily develop the pages. Okay, so like so I'll take some label here. So label is one of the control to display some text. Okay, so you can select one control. You can drag and drop a control so that it will be the code related to that control will be automatically added here. See here, ASP label, ID label 1, run it server, as it is a server side control. So it adds this attribute, run it server. So text, the label name is text. The label 1 is the text of the label. So I'm changing it to username. Okay. So when I save it and switch to design view, I can see that username. Okay. I'll drag and drop a text box here. So here we'll have different controls. Whatever the control we want to use, we can drag and drop that So text box, I'm dragging and placing it here. Okay, I got some text box. So I can go to source and I can see. So text box is generated. So if you want to set something here, we go to properties. See here, these are the different properties that a text box have, like back color, border style, font color, font, text, auto post back. So automatically post back to the server after the text is modified. Whenever we modify some text and if we want to post it to the server, so we can select it. We can select the option to true so that it will post back to the server. Causes validation, whether we want to perform any validation, like whether user entered some text or not. To check that, we can set it validations. Okay, we will see this. And enabled, whether the control is clickable or not, whether we are able to type something inside the text box or not, or whether it is enabled or disabled. To set that, so we use this option. Okay, like that max length, what is the max length user can enter for the data. Okay, that we can set. So read only. So if you set it true, we cannot enter anything here. Whatever the value we assign to it, that will be displayed. So that is read only property. Okay, text mode, whether we want to enter single line, multi-line, password, or we want to read date or email, like that we have options. So most widely we use single line, multi-line. Okay. Next tooltip, whenever we hover on text box, if you want to display some meaningful information about that, we can use tooltip. Okay, whether it is visible or not, we can show hide the control. For that, we can use visible property. Okay, we can set some height, width, and we can give some meaningful ID to it. Okay, so as a best practice, if we use text box, we type txt. Okay, txt. What is the purpose of this text box? It is holding username. So we follow this kind of naming, txt username. So this is the ID to identify this control. Okay. So if you go to source and if you see it, see here, ID is generated, whatever the name I gave, so that it will update here. Okay. Now I want to assign it, I want to align it right side so that username and text box will be side by side. So to do that, so I'm just going to properties and some alignment. So we can write style sheet or we can write some alignment here. As this is related to TD. So we are seeing that these options. Like I'm not sure about that property. So let me write TD label. So we can also write our own style. Text align, I guess, text align, right. We'll see whether it is effective or not. Yeah. So username is aligned, right side. I don't want 100% width of the table, so I'll change it to some width. So I'll take it 50%. The width of my page where I place table, see here. Okay. I'll take some password field. Now one label for that. Sorry. I'll click here. I'll drag it and drop. Okay. So it dropped here. So I'll paste it here. The same manner, I'll align it right side. To do that, I'm just copying this and giving it to TD. Okay. So here, I'm just going to properties, right click properties. So we can give text, the purpose of the control. So this is the password. So I need a text box or password field, anything we can use. So I'm just double clicking it, or we can drag and drop. So we can go to properties and we can give meaningful ID to it, like txt password. Okay. So this is the ID of my control. To uniquely identify it, I'm giving some name. Okay. So this is registration page. I'll have a button here to have that. Just click wherever you want to display that button. Click there and double click from toolbox. You will get the button. So button, we have different properties. There are some common properties like button text, login, or some register like that. We can give any name. I'm just demonstrating a simple example. Okay. So register button. So on clicking button, I want to submit details. Right. So I can give button name also, button ID also. Like whenever you double click any control, so it will generate an event. So button click event, we call it as a default event of the button. So whenever we double click particular control, that will generate a default event. Suppose we have a text box, so I'm double clicking on it. So it generated a default event called text changed. Whenever there is a text change, this event will be fired. Okay. So even we can see that from properties window. To see that, select a control, go to properties. So here we have an events tab, right? So just click on that. So what is the event we have? Text changed event. Let's take register button, go to properties. See here, we have click event, command event. For button, we have two events, click event, command event. We can define our event here also. Okay. That is what I did here. Okay. Right. I'm just running and I'll see how it will display. Okay. See here, registration.aspx is my page, which is going to display. See, username, password, and register button or login button. So this is the way we design application, web application or web page. So till now I covered all the topics that we covered previously. Okay. Now we talk about redirection. So to redirect from one place to other place, so we have some hyperlinks or link buttons, right? So I'll place, so for easy understanding, let me change this to login. As we have username, password field, so I'm just changed it to login. Suppose I want to display register now link. So I can do that with three ways, right? We talked about that already, like hyperlink, link button, image button. Hyperlink is for text and images. Link button is only for buttons, for text only. Image button is only for images. Okay, we have three types of links. We can use any link, any type of redirection. So hyperlink, I'm just dragging and dropping here. So click on properties, just change, click here to register, click here to register. Okay. This way we can generate a hyperlink. So we can go to properties. So what are the properties we have here? See, if we use image for this link, we can set image height. We can select the image, register image. Okay. We can add that to our code and we can select the image to the link. Image width we can set and the text. Okay. And like whether it is enabled or not, whether it is visible or not. These are the different properties. Okay. And navigate URL. When I'm clicking on that, to which page you want to navigate. Okay. That we can select here. Right. Suppose when I click register function, so I want to go to registration page, I can set that URL here. Okay. And for understanding purpose, let me add new page. So I already named registration. So I'm just giving, I could have named it as login page. Okay. So as I already have registration page, I'm just giving new registration. Okay, clicking on OK. So it generated me a registration page. Register here. I'm just giving some text to understand it. So on clicking click here to register, I want to navigate to new register page. Okay. So navigate URL I can select now. So I want to go to new registration page when I am clicking this link. See now you can see the link. Click here to register. Now I want to have a forgot password link. Okay. I'll take a link button now. Link button. So I'll go to properties. I'll change forgot password. Okay. So for on client click, we can execute some script so that we can mention that here post back URL. So when we selected hyperlink, what do we have? Navigate URL we have, right? When we have a button, link button. So when we took a link button, we have a different property like post back URL. On clicking this button, where do we want to post? So to which URL we want to post? The URL to post when the button is clicked. So I want to go to forgot password page. So I'll add a page. I'll add a new web form, new web page, forgot password. So a page is added. Just for understanding, I'm just putting in header, forgot password. This is a page which we want to display when we are clicking on this link. Okay. So forgot password. I gave text already. So post back URL. So we call this button as ellipse button. Ellipse button. Okay. So I want to redirect to forgot password page. So I selected that. Okay. Right. I'll run it and I'll show it to you guys. See here, login page, login button. Click here to register. When I'm clicking that, it is going to register page, registration page. See the file name, new registration. Okay, when I'm clicking on forgot password page, it is going to forgot password page. So here we design that part. Okay. So this is the difference between hyperlink and link button. So for hyperlink, we can also use images. Okay. I'll show you that as well. So for hyperlink, we can also, yeah, tell me.
Sir, if on clicking the registration, I want to open in the new page. Redirection, I want to open the redirection new page. Then what I have to do, sir?
On clicking register page, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is what I did, right? It is going to new page. Registration
I want to open
page.
in new tab.
New tab. You can set a target.
Okay.
So here we will have a target option. Here, target. Okay. So blank page, parent, search, self, top, like this. Just explore this option.
Okay, sir.
Target frame for the navigate URL. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. On top, if you want to show it, we can use this. Different options are there, just refer once. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now I want to add an image to my hyperlink. Okay. So for that, we have an option like image URL. Okay. Image URL. So we should add our images here. So inside content folder, we have to add an image. So I'll take some simple image from register image from Google and I'll add it to application so that I can show that whenever page is loaded. Okay. registration PNG icon. Let me take one better. Yeah, I'll take this. Saving image on my desktop. So first I'll do like, I'll add image to content folder, add new item. Sorry. So add existing item. So I just selected that. So it added under content. Okay. Now I'll go to hyperlink. I can go to properties and I can select the image. So inside content, I have registration PNG. Now it will display like this. I can set some amount, height amount, okay? 30 pixel or some 50 pixel. Okay? So I can set some width, some 100 pixel. Okay? So that it will display. Height I'll reduce to 40. But I cannot set that to button. Okay, I cannot set an image to button. So it's simply button with text. Hyperlink can have text as well as image. Okay, image button will have only image, no text. So this is the basic difference. Okay. See here. So it is showing register now button. I'm clicking on it and it is showing register here page. So forgot password like this. So we saw example with two things like hyperlink, link button. We'll take one more like image button. Okay. So this is an image button. Purely we have to have a image. So I'll remove this image and I'll change. I'll give it to image button to understand the difference between three. Okay. Properties, image URL. Under content we have image. Okay. So postback URL to which when we click on that page, to which page we want to go, that we can specify here. Then next, height width I can set here 30 pixel and width, the default is enough. See here, link button will have only text and it's a button type. Hyperlink is a hyperlink with, it can be text or image. Image button, purely image, a button with image. This is button with text. This can be text or image. Three ways we can redirect. Okay. I'm just running. This is about design time. Design time itself, we are specifying to which page we want to navigate. Okay. In the design time itself, we are specifying to which page we want to go. Now, next, when I am clicking on login, so if I entered username and password and clicked on login, so on clicking on login, I will verify username and password. If both are valid, I have to go to home page. So that I will decide only when my credentials are valid. Okay. So I have to write program or code, backend code to navigate. So to do that, we have response.redirect and server.transfer. Okay. To do that, we have response.redirect and server.transfer. So this is my button click event. Okay. So I can use response.redirect. Okay. So it is asking for string URL of the page to which I want to navigate. Okay. I have also have an option like server.transfer. Okay. So it is also asking string path. Okay. Two ways I can transfer programmatically. One is response.redirect. Next is server.transfer. So when to use which one? So response.redirect will be used to transfer between the websites of same website or different server websites also. Response.redirect can be used to transfer to any page inside a web application or web server or outside the web server also. Like I have this application, right? So sample website is my website, which is available in my server, IIS server. So I can have a different prime server. In that I have a different application. So to traverse from one application, one server to another server, we use response.redirect. Okay, redirects a request to new URL and specifies the new URL. So it can be used to redirect to any URL on any server. So when it comes to server.transfer, it will only transfer within the server, server. Okay. For the current request, terminates execution of the current page and starts execution of a new page by using the specified URL of the page. Okay. It will only transfer within the server and within the application or within the server. Okay, just a second. Back. Yeah. So if you observe the differences like between response.redirect and server.transfer. So response.redirect is used to redirect to any web page in any website. Any web page in any website. Server.transfer is used to redirect to any web page in current website only, not even in the server, in current website only. In this solution, this is my website, right? In this website, I can only transfer to these pages like about.aspx, contact us, default, forgot, new registration, register, like this. These pages only I can transfer using server.transfer. Okay. So response.redirect is can be used to pass some information from one page to other page. But server.transfer with the server.transfer we cannot pass any information. Okay, from source page to destination page. And when it comes to response.redirect, its execution is very slow because we are transferring from one place to other place. So it has to decide few things. So its execution will be slow. But when it comes to server.transfer, it will only transfer within the website. So its execution will be faster. Server.transfer will be faster. Okay. And if we use response.redirect, the request, whatever the destination URL we set, that will be displayed in the address bar. Okay. The target page address appears within the address bar. When it comes to this server.transfer, the target page address does not appear within the address bar. It will internally transfer. So it will not display inside in our browser. So if we go to browser and if you see here, it will not display that page to which we are redirecting. Okay. So suppose we transfer to a different page and if we refresh this page, okay. So if we use response.redirect, it will not cause any errors. If you refresh the page, it will not cause any errors if you use this response.redirect. When we use the server.transfer, it sometimes generates some errors, runtime errors. It causes runtime errors. You can try that example once. Okay, you can practice that. So for now, I'll take two buttons. Okay, I'll delete this row for now. Delete this row. Then I'll add one more row. So I'll add two buttons here. Okay. One for Google, one for Yahoo. Or one for internal page and one for Google external site. So this is for Google. Okay. On clicking it, I want to redirect. I'll remove all this. So on clicking Google, I want to redirect to Google page. So for that, as it is a different website, I'm using response.redirect. Okay, www.google.com. Okay, right. Now I want to go to like registration page or whatever page we have, about us page, right? So I'll go to about us page and clicking this button. So I'll simply place about us. Okay. So the postback URL, I don't want to use this postback URL. I want to use, on clicking this, I want to use server.transfer. Okay, server.transfer. So I want to go to about us page. So that I can specify like this, tilde symbol, which specifies current working directory slash about.aspx. Sorry. Yeah. What is the symbol tilde? It represents this folder sample website. I stored it in C, Visual Studio, repos, like that, right? So it takes that path, running path. In the running path, it will take about.aspx. We will run it and check once whether it is working properly or not. So there is an exception. Registration does not contain txt username text changed event. Okay, I deleted code, right? So for that related text changed event, where is that? Okay. So I have to remove from here as well. Okay, even button one dot click also. This is login related code. See here, I'm clicking on Google. So it is taking me to google.com and it is taking the current URL. So I'll change it. HTTP, right? Okay. I'll show it again. Yeah, I'm clicking on about us. So it is taking me to about page, but the URL is remained same. It doesn't change, right? So if I refresh it, so it reloaded. I'm clicking on about us page, but it is showing about us page internally, but showing the old URL only. And like it is not changing the address in the address bar. Okay. So, but when it comes to Google, it is going inside the application, right? Let me check. Let me change it to HTTP. HTTP www.google.com. Let me see this. So response.redirect అనేది within the same application use చేయొచ్చు to any website use చేయొచ్చు. Whereas server.transfer అనేది only within the web application. See here. So it came to google.com. Okay. So when we are clicking on it, it is only going within the internal application. Like let's test one wrong scenario. Like server.transfer అనేది only within the application అని అంటున్నాం కదా. సో నేను అవుట్ సైడ్ అప్లికేషన్ ఇచ్చి చూస్తా ఏమవుతుందో చూద్దాం. నేను అవుట్ సైడ్ వెబ్సైట్ ఇస్తున్నా, వెబ్సైట్ URL ఇచ్చిన అండ్ ఐ ట్రై టు రన్ ఇట్. So clicking on About Us, see here an exception has occurred. Invalid path for child request. Okay, so it is only looking inside our solution, inside our website. So whatever the pages available, those can only be traversed or navigated. We cannot give outside addresses when we use server.transfer. For response.redirect, we can use internal page or we can use external page. Like I can use same here. So when clicking on that, I'm just want to redirect to contact. Okay, contact.aspx, right? Contact.aspx. I can go to other website or internally also I can traverse with response.redirect. I'll go to registration.aspx page. See, I'm clicking on Google. So it redirected me to contact page. See, you can see the address in the address bar. But when we click on About Us, we can see only the old page, old address, but it is showing the About Us page. So this is the difference between response.redirect and server.transfer. This is the important interview question. Okay, you should know the differences. Any doubts till now? Like today we talked about hyperlink, link button, image button, and normal button. Then server.transfer and response.redirect. Any doubts till now? So this is the difference from client to it goes to web server and again it search for the web page and that response will come. That's why it is slow. But server.transfer is fast, but we can traverse only inside the website. Okay. So next we have validation controls. We'll see it tomorrow. Any doubts?
Sir, I have one doubt. When click on any button, we can navigate to other new tab. I mean new tab.
Yeah, we can. I told you, right? We can use target property.
Yes, sir.
If we use that, we can go that. Just a second. So like this, it is opened in a new tab, right? I set a target a blank.
Yes, sir.
So it opened a new tab.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
I'm sharing screen already.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay. I'm resharing again. Now? Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. So see, we have a target property, blank. It will open the linked document in a new window or new tab. Self opens the linked document in the same frame as it was clicked. This is the default. Self is the default. If we use parent, opens the linked document in the parent frame. If we use iframe frames concept, this will be useful. Top opens the linked document in the full body of the window. And we can specify the name where we want to open that. If we use iframe, we can specify that frame name. Okay. So this is the option, target option. You can explore and practice it.
Okay, sure, sir.
Any other doubts? So tomorrow we will have some validation controls like required field validator. Please enter. If you forgot to enter username and clicking on submit button, it will ask you to. It will show you a message like please enter username. please enter password. Like that, we can write some dynamic code, and even we can compare. Suppose if user has to enter only age up to 35 years, we can check that validations. So we will see them tomorrow. So today we covered hyperlink, link button, image button, and response.redirect and server.transfer. Just practice few examples to understand it. So if you don't have any doubts, you can exit from the session. If you have doubts, you can be in the session and you can clarify your doubts. Any other doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'll end the session. I'll stop recording.